Hello everyone, welcome to our channel RLF. So we're going to talk about sonnets from Shakespeare. So we're going to start with the first sonnet written by Shakespeare. And he in his lifetime has written about 154 sonnets that we know of. And his 17 of his sonnets are dedicated to fair youth. And there are many names that come into the whole discussion, to which the sonnets are dedicated to.
Sonnets by Shakespeare was first published by Thomas Thorpe in 1609 without the knowledge of author, probably in quarto format. This sonnet 1, is named From Fairest Creature We Desire Increase, and as the title suggests, this sonnet is about how life creates life begets life.
Life.
Yeah. It also talks about the need for beautiful people to keep um,
Procreating.
keep procreating and keep transferring that beauty to their progeny so that the beauty doesn't die when they are dead.
And he actually, a fun fact that he actually took this theme of progeny or procreation in 17 of his first 17 of his sonnets. That's all he talks about.
With that, we begin with the discussion of the sonnet.
Any sonnet begins or has 3 quatrains and a couplet. So quatrains is a line of four. 4 lines is considered as quatrains. So we begin with the first quatrain here. So here in this first quatrain, he's talking about the fairest creatures, beautiful people in general. And the world wants, by we, I think he is denoting, or he's representing the world. And he's saying that we desire more from fairest creatures.
He also says that beauty's rose might never die if fairest creatures continue to increase. And how do they increase? By procreation, obviously.
And just like fruits ripe, the beauty of a person also ripes with time and disease. Basically, death brings the end or ripeness. So all he wants to say through this quatrain is that the air is the one who can bear the memory of that beautiful person. His air is the only one who can bear the same kind of beauty. So he should procreate. The next quatrain.
Then he again talks about how if a fair creature doesn't procreate, he is actually creating famine where there should have been abundance. So famine is being compared to not reproducing. Therefore, death of beauty, lack of something, and abundance again is related to procreation, progeny.
He is also focusing here, targeting someone specific, because the second quadrant starts with thou, but thou. So here he's specifically targeting one person or fair youth that he's constantly dedicating his sonnets to. And he's also saying that this person is very self-absorbed or self-centered. Yeah. And he kind of compares his beauty with the light's flame, candle's flame. And he desires the person to spread his beauty or flame or light with the world. And goes by talking about the famine and abundance, re-establishing the point.
Following that, he also says that if you don't reproduce, thyself thy foe. You are your enemy if you are not doing it. and you are very cruel if you are doing that.
Unknowingly, even unknowing, could be unknowingly you are becoming a fool.
Yes.
So we are down to the last quatrain.
Somewhere can we see here a few suggestions of how beauty is more important than what the person wants? Personal desire to whether reproduce or not. More than that, he's focusing on the importance of beauty. So, is
Hmm.
beauty more important than your choice to reproduce or not?
Hmm.
That's a question we may ask.
Yeah, definitely. Again, continuing the message, he comes to the next quatrain saying that, again, comparing this beautiful creature to world's fresh ornament, or someone who is a messenger to the whole spring, right? And but then he talks about, so there's a connection, flowers to spring, and he then goes on and talks about how this person, by not spreading his beauty or procreating, he or she is compared to a bud, which is not effectively not a flower. He's burying his own content within himself, just like a bud which is not able to bloom fully. So it's just also the last line of the quatrain. So also he goes on to say that he is a miser. It's just going to waste. The beauty is going to waste by this misery of the person.
And in the couplet, he says how if the person doesn't pity the world, is not a little kind to procreate, he would be like a glutton who would eat what the whole world deserves.
What the whole world is due for.
Yeah.
What the whole
And
is due.
and he gives us this imagery of grave, which shows death and end of life, absence of life. Like how a grave eats a person when he dies. If a person doesn't reproduce, he is like that grave who has eaten up his beauty, and there is absence of beauty then onwards because it's dead.
Also something like, death, which is again denoted by grave. So death, as in the first sentence, or in the first quatrain, he talks about death, that could be the end of the beauty. Again, maybe that is echoed, maybe that is what is echoing here, that the end, the by dying, this person is being gluttonous and not sharing what the world is due.
Yeah, he's taking away what belongs to the whole world.
World. Yeah.
Overall, this sonnet talks about the importance of continuation of species and beauty. If we see it in another way, we can also take it as the importance of evolution, because the more the reproduction, the more evolved the genes will be.
Yeah. And according to evolution, maybe reproduction is such an important process or part of the system. So
Yeah.
that's what, maybe that is Shakespeare. And that is explained in such a poetic way.
Yes, that's right.
That marks the end of our video, and we hope to see you in the next one. Thank you.
Thank you.